Commit yourself to an experience of absolute evil. Eyeball will grab you. Suspiria won't let you go. Eyeball and Suspiria, the ultimate in total terror.
The motion picture double feature was largely created by the Great Depression. Struggling theater owners realized that they could get more customers and profits by offering 2 movies for the price of 1. In the age of streaming, we have largely forgotten the double feature and replaced it with binging. How often have you scoffed at the idea of watching a 2-hour film and, instead, streamed a series for 3 to 5 hours? I get it, time is precious, and you're too anxious to commit 3 to 4 hours of your life to a specially curated double feature movie presentation. But what if one movie could give you that double feature sensation? And as much as I enjoy them, I'm not talking about anthology movies with their clearly defined separate stories and characters.
Jolting tales of horror.
In this video, I am going to share with you 3 of my favorite single-picture double features. 2 movies for the price of 1. Single films that do the work of 2. You get the idea. My first selection is the one I have heard discussed the most, so I'll try to keep my thoughts brief.
Low profile. Do you understand the meaning of the words low profile?
It's a dark night. Dark night.
From Dusk Till Dawn is an almost equally 1-part crime thriller and 1-part vampire horror. For 1 hour, 1 minute, and 3 seconds, this movie is about the villainous Gecko brothers who kidnap a vacationing family in order to escape the authorities. At no point in that time are the characters or the audience given any indication that anything fantastical exists in this world.
Now, this is my kind of place.
That changes when Selma Hayek just happens to transform into a vampire and all hell breaks loose. For the remaining 46 minutes and 53 seconds, the film's characters are fighting vampires and trying to stay alive. It becomes a totally different movie from the one we started in, and that's okay.
Because there are a lot of people who didn't know that the movie changed midway,
Right.
which they weren't supposed to. When you wrote it,
exactly.
it was just
That
like when
would
I
be
read
the best
it.
way to, yeah.
The best way to see it is
See it.
to be watching it and thinking it's just what it is, like a heist film.
Right.
And it turns into, all of a sudden the turn of a page, that's how your script goes. When you gave it to me and said, this is a horror script, I was reading it going, 40 pages in, I'm going, man, he must have given me the wrong thing, man. Where's the horror? And suddenly it became that.
From Dusk Till Dawn is the most successful at being a single-picture double feature because it was always designed to be that way.
A lot of horror films start delivering the horror too soon, and you don't really have any eyes into the picture. What this is enabling us to do is really get you to be a part of the picture before the horror element comes in.
If each half of the movie feels like it was written by 2 different authors, it's because it almost was.
Well, this was Bob Kurtzman's idea.
Oh, really? The guy who gave you the story. That's right. Bob Kurtzman was the guy who actually hired you from K&B to write the script for you. He gave you, how much of an outline or a story did he give you?
He gave me like about 5-page outline. Once you get into the Titty Twister, the story follows his outline very much.
Right.
But it only had like about a page before they get to the Titty Twister.
Robert Kurtzman's outline basically covered the second half of the movie, and Quentin Tarantino expanded the characters and backstory and gave us the first half. Because the film was always meant to drastically pivot between genres, the filmmakers were aiming for the tone and execution of the entire film to be heightened and over the top. That's the glue that holds this together.
That changes the death toll to 16. 5 Texas Rangers, 8 police officers, 3 civilians.
The Gecko brothers are not realistic characters. They are pulpy, ultra-violent gangsters filled with quippy dialogue.
Everybody be cool. You be cool.
When the vampires arrive, the audience is not thrown.
I don't want to hear anything about I don't believe in vampires. Because I don't f***ing believe in vampires. But I believe in my own 2 eyes, and what I saw is f***ing vampires.
The genre may have changed, but the audience expectation for pulpy violence and one-liners remains the same.
Once you added that real serious horror element at the beginning with the woman hostage, it made the tone even more jumpy, which was kind of cool. That's what I really liked about it, is that when you get to a scene like this, suddenly you're laughing again at your dialogue and at the jokes, and and the tone is just all over the place. Then people start dying. It goes from being from fun to serious and it really screws in your head. That's what I really enjoyed about the whole tone of the picture.
But it's rare that movies are designed to give two different experiences. Some just end up doing that. While it can lead to a jarring and disjointed viewing experience, I think the principle of the single-picture double feature can give new meaning to these otherwise jarring and disjointed misfit movies. Dreamcatcher, adapted and directed by legendary filmmaker Lawrence Kasdan, is a jarring and disjointed misfit movie. It is based on the 2001 Stephen King novel, which he wrote from a hospital bed as he was recovering from being almost fatally struck by a car. In a press interview, King stated his two inspirations for the story.
I want to write a story about guys and what guys are like when they're on their own, and I visualized a hunting camp, and I really wanted to write an old-fashioned monster story, an invasion from space type story.
The premise of an intimate character study between a group of male friends fits right at home with the prior directorial works of Kasdan. The premise of a world-ending alien invasion is in line with many of his successes as a screenwriter.
You, Henry, can have that priceless piece of cinematic trivia absolutely free.
In my opinion, the first 51 minutes and 25 seconds of Dreamcatcher sets a steady and ominous tone. We meet these four men, childhood friends. We see their unhappiness at their current station in life and how they blossom when they are reunited. It is revealed slowly that they also share a unique bond with a fifth childhood friend, Duddance, whose illness did not allow him to join, and that a mysterious presence is lurking in the woods around them.
Look, what's all that red stuff on their fur?
Just like McCarthy's cheek.
I never saw anything like this before.
Dreamcatcher has little problem with setup and asking questions. Things get rocky when it starts giving answers.
Rick, is he still alive? I don't know. Rick, hurry.
Oh, man. Jonesy, if he can still do that, he must be alive. I mean, come on.
A monstrous threat is gradually introduced into the movie. Like Dusk Till Dawn, the nature of the threat is revealed quite suddenly. At 51 minutes and 25 seconds, the Dreamcatcher threat is revealed to be aliens.
What do you want?
For the remaining 1 hour, 22 minutes, and 28 seconds, the movie changes from an intimate character study with sinister undertones to an action-oriented alien invasion thrill ride.
25 years I've been going out to fight these alien bastards. Show them they picked the wrong neighborhood, knocked on the wrong door.
And don't forget the childhood flashbacks attempting to set up and explain the friend's seemingly supernatural bond with Duddance.
Duds can hear people's thoughts. We can't.
Are you sure of that, Beef?
Dreamcatcher is not a misunderstood film. The sum of its parts does not play well together.
What was that, Mr. Jones? What did we just pass on the road there?
Are you speaking to me?
Yes, I am, Mr. Jones. Or is it Jonesy? That's what your friends call you, isn't it? Let's be friends.
I tried years ago to read the book, but didn't make it through. I have always assumed that the weight of its narrative structure was too much to condense into a single movie runtime.
It is a challenge to take a book this long and complicated and full of so many flights of fancy and make a good movie. Because movies are always a reduction of any good novel. William Goldman had done an adaptation already when I came onto the project. Bill came out and we did one more draft with him. Through this process, his first draft, his second draft with me, and then me taking it over the writing, I tried to take the best of what Bill Goldman had done and then bring back those things in the book that he felt he couldn't deal with and I felt we could, and try to have the movie be as big and embracing and yet clear and entertaining as it could be.
13 years after its publication, King stated in a Rolling Stone interview that this book was written under the influence of Oxycontin, and he added, "I don't like Dreamcatcher very much."
How you doing?
Hey, Beaver, you know, same different day.
Yeah, same different day.
Dreamcatcher feels like two very different movie halves put together, but, in its defense, I separately like these two movies.
Hello?
The first half plays like The Big Chill meets The Thing. The second half is Outbreak meets The Hidden. I'd pay good money to see those two separate movies fully realized. And the final battle with Duddance, well, that's a whole other ballgame.
We have some work to do now.
These two halves do not work together. They lack a common tone to bind its elements together, like From Dusk Till Dawn.
Okay, vampire killers. Let's kill some vampires.
They are two different movie halves that happen to share the same actors.
See two Chuck Norris action hits together, A Force of One and The Octagon, rated R.
But I think if you enter Dreamcatcher expecting a double feature from a single picture, you'll have a good time. And hey, it could have been weirder. My final single-picture double feature also does not have a consistent tone like From Dusk Till Dawn. But unlike Dreamcatcher, its wild changes in tone and genre are the very reason I think it works so well. Shocker, written and directed by Wes Craven, creator of Freddy Krueger, had the purest of capitalistic intentions.
The name of our villain is Horace Pinker, and Horace Pinker is designed to retire Freddy Krueger.
Wes didn't own the franchise. He was basically trying to start another franchise. That was his hope, that he'd create a new Nightmare on Elm Street.
Freddy Krueger attacks you in your dreams. Horace Pinker attacks you through your TV.
I'm nationwide now.
A Nightmare on Elm Street swung at one big concept idea and hit a horror home run. If the boogeyman kills you in your dreams, you better stay awake. In contrast, Shocker takes many swings at multiple ideas and struggles to stay within bounds. But don't worry, Shocker makes up for this with a mountain of energy and showmanship.
Finger licking good.
In order to fully encapsulate the shifts this movie makes, I've got to spoil many things, so consider yourself warned. Shocker starts as a serial killer procedural. Horace is a real person in a real world. Early on, we learn that our lead character, football star Jonathan Parker, can see Horace's crimes in real time while he is dreaming. Horace somehow understands this. Horace kills Jonathan's foster family and girlfriend. Jonathan, aiding his police detective foster father, uses his dream connection to catch Horace. Horace is arrested and sentenced to the electric chair. Horace is electrocuted. After some peekaboo, his body disappears. For the rest of the film, Horace has no physical body of his own. At 46 minutes and 34 seconds, Shocker fully enters single-picture double feature land. It is revealed that Horace's evil spirit has leapt into a physician's body.
Just feel like a little head sport.
Horace continues to hunt Jonathan and others by leaping from body to body. We have gone from a grounded killer on the loose movie with some eerie fantasy elements to full-blown body-jumping, one-line quipping Proto-Krueger.
I think the two biggest influences on me with this picture were a picture called The Hidden, I believe, by Jack Shoulder, and also the original The Thing. The idea of something that could sort of change shapes and go into various people that you wouldn't know, so you wouldn't know quite where he or it was.
Why does The Hidden keep coming up?
He's a law-abiding taxpayer minding his own business.
After an amazing sequence where Horace chases Jonathan through a park and body swaps to a cop, a jogger, and then a little girl,
Get your lungs at you, son of a bitch.
Shocker does the unthinkable. At 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 58 seconds, Shocker goes single-picture triple feature. Instead of body swapping, Horace starts traveling through electricity. The movie goes full-on Ghost in the Machine. While things got a little silly during the double feature portion, Shocker gets outright goofy during its triple feature portion. He fights Jonathan while jumping out of outlets and light fixtures. The action builds to an almost jaw-dropping sequence where both Horace and Jonathan leap into a TV set and fight each other across music videos, wrestling matches, stock footage, worship services, and whatever else the filmmakers had the rights to use.
I've heard of audience participation shows, but this is ridiculous.
And I have completely glossed over the barely mentioned occult connection, Jonathan's dead girlfriend / personal Obi-Wan, the not at all explained magical necklace, the family tree subplot,
Like father, like son,
Horace becoming an easy chair, and the climax where I think Jonathan traps Horace in the television after doing the remote control version of Quit Hitting Yourself.
My mother? My baby sister?
Lord,
In his commentary, Wes Craven seems amused by how comical his movie became.
You got it, baby.
I don't know, maybe I got a little too whimsical in some of these scenes. I think there was kind of a bizarre sense of humor that was infecting me during the making of this film. I was going through a horrendous divorce, and I sort of had a black humor about everything during this year, and I think it kind of got into the film, especially with this little girl. Little Peter Sellers here. I don't know if I would do this again. I don't know. I think my sense of humor maybe was getting out of control here, but I don't know. This gets a little strange. As I said, this was kind of an experimental film. Sometimes it's a little overly silly and sometimes overly sentimental, but I think there was a very sincere attempt to look at some parts of my own life.
Shocker is a schizophrenic hot mess, but, against all odds, it's the better movie for it. Broadway legend Elaine Stretch once said, "Being boring is just the worst sin of all." Shocker may not commit to many ideas, but it throws so many against the wall that I very quickly shrugged my shoulders, settled in my recliner, and enjoyed the ride. It doesn't make much sense, but it's crowd-pleasing entertainment. More so if that crowd is a few beers in.
I'm filing that in the who gives a section of my memory warehouse.
This movie can get away with that because my expectations for a movie called Shocker were admittedly not very high. You may have noticed that the movies I've talked about here are genre films, which by and large are not striving to be classy.
Why, out of all of the godforsaken holes in Mexico, do we have to meet here? One place is just as good as another.
And that's the key to these single-picture multi-features. Get past what you expect from normal plot structures and character development. Embrace the movies that are doing different things. They may not be the most successful, but in life and in movies, sometimes the detours are the most memorable parts of the trip.
And the Oscar goes to Sinners, Ryan Coogler.
Long live the single-picture double feature. This is Tri-Ply Video, and this has been My 2 Cents.
Mad, your only hope is to get your free Rasputin beer as you enter the theater to see Rasputin, the Mad Monk, and the Reptile. See venomous, creeping, evil creator writhing hell on earth. Free Rasputin beers for guys and gals at the theater. Protect yourself from the Reptile and Rasputin, the Mad Monk.